Hello, my name is Jonny Greene. I'm a tillage and livestock farmer from County Kildare in Ireland. I wanted to make a video today, if I may, to try to explain a few things about our farming system and what we are trying to achieve. I'll just turn the camera around. We've been looking for ways on this farm to try and improve our soil health, leading to healthier plants, which in turn require less agrochemical input, including less insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, as well as artificial fertilizers. The key to this, and the way I feel we're going to achieve this, is through carbon. If we can increase the level of carbon in our soils, there are many benefits. First of all, obviously there'll be less CO2 in the atmosphere, which I think everybody agrees is a good thing. And secondly, for food production, soils with good carbon levels grow better crops with less inputs and grow a more nutritionally dense food. So I think common sense says this is a win-win for everybody. So the question, I suppose, is how do we make this happen? I think it's pretty well established that carbon is lost from soil in two main ways: through intensive cultivations and through over-application of nitrogenous fertilizers. Over the past 20 years in the farm, we, as well as a group of other farmers, have been trying to address this by practicing conservation agriculture. We have reduced our cultivations gradually and now do not cultivate at all, a practice known as no tillage. We crop a range of cover crops similar to the one I'm standing in here now, which incidentally includes clovers, phacelias, vetches, some brassicas. There was some buckwheat and some sunflowers in here, but frost has killed them. So we grow these cover crops as well with the aim of improving soil fertility. And now we are also planting complementary companion species with our cash crops. For example, buckwheat with oilseed rape and clovers with cereals. This is all aimed to improve the soil fertility on the farm naturally and in a manner that also benefits the hugely important ecosystems within our fields, both above and below ground. We are seeing increases in many species. We have been providing habitats for pollinators, just like you see here with the flowering phacelia in the month of November of all things, for birds, for beetles, earthworms and many other microorganisms. It really has to be seen to be believed. The fields are bursting with life in comparison to conventionally tilled soils. We are achieving this, and I think it's very important to say, with no drop in production. Our farm average yields, which plateaued about 10 or 15 years ago, are now increasing again with our new farming system. And in 4 of the last 5 years since our move to no tillage and stopping cultivations, we are above our long-term farm average yields. We have reduced to almost zero our use of insecticides, which are products I really do not like to see being used on farms. Our residual soil-acting herbicide use has dropped, as has our use of chemical fertilizers. I hope I have more work to do on reducing fungicides, but I feel with improved plant health from our new system, this can also be reduced in time. It's a work in progress. As I see it, there are many benefits to this system, but there is only one problem. In order to achieve it, we need to have access to the herbicide glyphosate in our toolbox. We need it for one purpose only. I do not believe it is required on this farm, certainly for pre-harvest desiccation. It's not necessary here. We do need it and the ability to clear our fields of some troublesome perennial weeds before planting of a cash crop. If we don't, these weeds will grow on and suffer our crops, and the yield and the quality of our produce will deteriorate. So I thought long and hard about what I will do if the authorities decide to ban glyphosate. And as I see it, I have 3 choices. One would be to return to intensive cultivation and see an overall increase in agrochemical input on the farm. A huge loss of carbon from our soil, which we have been aiming to increase for the last 20 years, shall be lost back to the atmosphere. This, as I see it, is an imbalanced agricultural system which is long-term unsustainable. 2, our next choice would be to move the entire farm to livestock cropping, and I don't think the environments would much like to see this either, the environmentalists, sorry. 3 would be a move to organics, which quite frankly will lead to a vast reduction in the output of our farm. It will also necessitate an increase in livestock as well to balance soil nutritionally. I think on most livestock farms the requirement is for 50% of the area to be in nutritionally building livestock lays. And most importantly at all, if we turn organic, it will be a move back to intensive cultivations and a loss in carbon from the soils from that practice. And I see that practice as one of the most inorganic practices around. That is my opinion. I believe here at the moment are farming in a way that is taking the best of both the conventional and organic farming methods. I'm sure it's not perfect, and we are constantly striving to improve our knowledge and skills to produce better, healthier crops, food, working alongside nature to both it and to our benefit. We do use glyphosate, as I have stated, and currently, unfortunately, we cannot achieve what we are achieving on our farm without it. I'm not going to stand here and tell you or get into a tit-for-tat argument about whether it's safe or not. That's for the scientists to figure out and for our regulators to vote upon. If the EU body says it's okay, then that's fine with me. I trust them. I believe in responsible use of all agrochemicals. Farmers are now rightly trained in responsible use, and we do adhere to the sustainable use of pesticides directive, and rightly so. I shall continue to try and reduce our agrochemical input on this farm, including glyphosate. I don't like buying it, it costs me money, but unfortunately it is necessary. It takes time and knowledge to try and work with using less chemicals, including glyphosate. But I will never agree to using other chemicals in its place, or to doing other farming practices which could well be more harmful to the environment as any sort of compromise to the use of glyphosate. It seems to me our regulatory and our political institutions within the EU have some serious choices to make. Let's hope they consider the alternatives to glyphosate if they ban it, which in my view may well be an awful lot worse to the small amount of glyphosate needed to keep farming systems like this productive. Thank you for taking the time and listening to me. Goodbye.